along with the rest of the Comcast crew. And it's a loud gymnasium this evening for what promises to be a very good game, Brian. What do you think about this matchup this evening, the Rocky Mountain Lobos and the Loveland Indians?
Well, Rocky comes in here 7-1 overall, 2-0 at conference. They're a good team, Andy. They can push the ball up court. They can shoot. They can do it all. Loveland's going to be up to the top of their game. They're coming off a 1-point last-second victory. Last week, Quinones went up, made the last-second shot against Greeley Central, actually this week, Tuesday, and won it against Greeley Central. They're going to have to ride that wave, come on out here, and play an up-tempo game if they want to stick with this good Rocky Mountain team.
It should promises to be a good matchup, I should say, and Loveland is still without a couple of key players. Jenny Begut is still out with an injury, and Diana Poovy won't play tonight. She's in Florida playing soccer. I'll get that out. I really will. 3-on-3 national finals, so I guess that's a fair excuse to miss a basketball game.
Oh, it is, but, it comes at a tough time. You play in a good team. You bring up some sophomores. You've got some players out here. Two very good teams. Loveland a little bit short tonight, but it's going to be a very, very interesting game. See how they can come out, and they're going to have to come out early. They want to stay close to this good Rocky Mountain team.
Well, we've got a good crowd on hand. If you're not here and watching it on Comcast, well, next week you can come out and see another good one. We've got a game every week here on Comcast, but right now we're going to take a short break before we start this one. We'll be right back right here on Comcast. Welcome back to Loveland High School. That's head coach Jeff Coleman of the Loveland Indians looking on at what promises to be a tough game on the Comcast Game of the Week, which, of course, is sponsored by Subsystem Sandwiches, which is a tongue twister. You know that, Brian?
It is. Say it 3 times fast.
No, I'm not going to. Instead, we're going to find out what the 3 B's keys to the game are right now. And, Brian, fill us in.
Well, 3 B's. Well, actually, we call it the B's 3 keys, or whatever you want to call it. Ride the wave, the first one. Right there. They've got to ride the wave of the winning shot this Tuesday. Quinones went through. Last-second shot against Greeley Central. Put it up and in for the win, 45-44. They got to come off that and go strong. Ball control, Andy. They've had some problems first couple games. I saw the game at Greeley Central. They did a better job. They didn't play their best, but they did a better job of controlling the ball. They do that, they'll be in this ball game for, at least the first 3 quarters. And then ball control. That's the main thing right there, Andy. You've got to do that. Defense is a big thing. We didn't get to see the last key, but, hey, that's okay. We'll make up something. But, Andy, if they continue to do what they've done in the last couple of games, they're going to be solid in here. They've got to ride that wave. I think that's an important one. That's why I put it number 1. They can continue off that big win against Greeley Central. This Rocky Mountain team, I've said it in the pregame show, a couple times now, they are a tough team. They really are. 7-1 overall so far.
Well, they're getting ready to announce the starting lineup, so we'll do the same thing. Brian, I'll go ahead and start, and we'll start with the visiting Rocky Mountain Lobos. Britt Anderson, wearing number 0, the big knot. Start, she's 5'9", sophomore. Evan Unray, the only senior in the starting 5.
Well, Unray,
6 1" senior.
Unray in the season so far, Andy, shooting 57%, and she's one of their top-notch players they've got to go to.
Well, 3 more to go, but we're going to break briefly as we pause for our national anthem. rendition of our national anthem. And we'll, well, what a break. We're going to finish up the Rocky Mountain starters. We've already mentioned Britt Anderson and Evan Unray. Nicole Baum, another senior in the lineup. I said there was only one. I was wrong. There are two, 5'9". Kiana Savas, 5'5" junior, wears number 24. And Amy Moore rounds out the starting five, 6 foot. She is a junior. And Brian, you want to give us the starting five for the Loveland Indians?
Number 10, Angela Resilia, 5'8" senior. She'll be at one guard. The other, Casey Hogue. She's a freshman. She'll be starting at that position, 5'7". Very good game Tuesday night. Kahili Quinones. Callie. They got a spell wrong in here. That's okay. She's a junior, 5'7". She hit the big shot against Green Central we talked about. Number 50, Amanda Ewell, another junior, 6'1". You got to use for her. She can post up down low. That's going to be a key to this ball game tonight. And Tessa Canale, senior, 5'9". That rounds out the starters for your Loveland Indians.
Well, Casey Hogue in the lineup with Diana Poovey not here this evening. And should mention, coming up from the JV squad for the Loveland Indians tonight, Candace Arthur will be wearing number 32, which is Jennifer Vegout's number. So if you see a number 32 out there, it's not Jennifer Vegout. You probably saw her during the national anthem. She is on the bench tonight in street clothes, still injured, but here to cheer on her teammates. And she even gave up her number for somebody.
That's a tough thing to do. Vegout, a senior. Go out there, they're the Rocky Mountain Lobos. And you know, Andy, the standings. This is the key part so far. And you look, Loveland 3-0, Rocky at 2-0 right now. One more league game. You've got some good teams in there. The top of the league is just amazing. You got Fort Collins, Loveland, Rocky, and Thompson Valley. 4 very good teams that can beat anyone at any time.
Oh, I was trying to count there. What do they got? 4 losses between the 4 schools, or 5 losses, something like that?
If that, I mean, they've got some very good teams. That's in the overall picture. And now these teams are starting to play each other, so it'll even out a little bit more. See what happens tonight. Loveland, big game tonight against a good Rocky Mountain team. And, you know, so far, seeing them warm up, I think they're up for the task, as always.
A reminder, if you're watching and you want to watch again, our replay times are Saturday at 9 a.m. and 7 p.m., Sunday at 10 a.m. and Monday at 5. We are underway from Loveland High School. Rocky Mountain controls the tap. They're wearing the red jerseys tonight. Ball tipped and knocked out of bounds, and it remains Lobo basketball. It's tipped away by one of the Indian players. Having a little trouble getting it in bounds. That's Anderson, the inbounder. Finally gets it into Unray. Player-to-player defense by Loveland. Now they go inside to Unray. Nice dish off to the outside, and knocking it down is Nicole Baum for the first bucket of the ball game. Rocky Mountain leads 2-0.
Doing a good job of moving the ball around low, and then you see the great move by Quinones. Goes in over the top dribble once again. If you saw the replay on the TV, that's what she does so well, and right there does a good job for the first 2 points for Loveland.
Now a break for the Indians, a turnover in the open court. Anderson called for traveling, and Loveland takes over. Tie ball game 2-2 early in the first quarter.
Just watch the ball handling skills that Quinones got here, Andy. I mean, it's just amazing what she can do on that court.
Resilia with a long three. It won't go, but good offensive rebounding position that time for Kane. And she tips it last and goes out of bounds. Now full court pressure from the Indians. Long lead pass ahead, knocked away by Resilia, and Quinones comes up with it. She's got a 3-on-2 if she hurries. And good defense that time. Coming away with it is Unray ahead of the pack. And Baum lays it up and in. Her second bucket of the ball game. She has all 4 points for the Lobos. They lead it 4-2.
Both teams coming out a little bit sloppy here in the early going.
She traveled.
Oh, but it looked sweet, though, didn't it?
It did, but
NBA, she would have got away with that one.
Michael Jordan gets away with that one, but not at this level. I don't think Michael Jordan should have gotten away with it, but he made a lot more money than I do. Unray, a little bit of trouble, bounces off a leg, and that's not a kick. That's a good no call by the official there as Casey Hogue comes up with the loose ball. Loveland brings it back, trailing 4-2, 6.5 minutes to go. Quinones fouled. Let's see who they're going to get. It looks like it's going to be number 42 for the Lobos, and that's Amy Moore. We'll just make sure.
So they're going to change the call.
It's Unray who's called for 2 shots for Quinones. She has the only bucket of the ball game for the Indians.
It's like Coach Jeff Coleman, his philosophy for tonight's game, Andy, is get to Quinones and have her drive and break the middle, try to open up the other players later on in the ball game. Right now, Quinones is doing the job, just can't get a basket to fall here.
Quinones' second shot is good, and here comes that full court pressure. The Indians trail by 1, 4-3 in the early going. Unray takes a beating setting that pick. And can't get the roll that time. Does Baum, who has 4 points. And the Indians come back.
Trying to push it up court.
Quinones driving and foul called again.
Oh, it's going to be on number 4 also again, Unray. Actually, they're going to call it...
double zero, that's Britt Anderson.
You know, the thing right now, Andy, is they're really bailing Quinones out. She's going in, trying to push it a little bit. And when she goes up there, she's drawing the foul, going to step up to the charity stripe for the second time.
Brian, we want to remind everyone that our sponsor in the Comcast Game of the Week is Subsystem Sandwiches. Their phone number is 669-7868. They're located in North Loveland. They got free delivery. They slice their own meats and cheeses. And you know what's most important, Brian?
What's that?
Sandwiches are delicious.
They are great. We had once again before the ball game. You know, Andy, they hold you over until about
Hold me over till tomorrow, at least. But now, give them a try, folks. They're our sponsor here. We sure enjoy having them on board, and we certainly enjoy the food. Give them a try. You'll enjoy the food as well. Quinones back to the free throw line after the timeout. She has all 3 Indian points. Chance here to put them in the lead with 5:05 to play. Can't get the first one.
Quinones on the season, she was shooting right around 66% from the charity stripe. Having a tough time so far in this ball game.
Well, she's now 2 for 4, and it's a tie ball game at 4 apiece. That's Savas bringing it up for the Lobos. Nice look inside to Unray, and she lays it in. Good pass that time. I believe it was Anderson who spotted her down low. Zone defense now for the Lobos. Quinones in a little bit of trouble. Finally finds Brasilia.
Playing a 2-3
now she's
trap.
in trouble, and it's over and back as she bounced it off her leg and crossed the center stripe, and it's a turnover. The Lobos take over now, leading 6-4.
Good defense right there by Baum and Sabas. Kind of doing a 2-3 trap in there and caused the turnover.
Looking for Baum that time. She had a little trouble handling it, but picks it up. Now they work the post play. And Unray can't get it to roll. And following it up is Anderson. Now Unray. And finally, well, not quite finally. The next player was Moore, and finally Baum is fouled, but that's 4 tries at the offensive end, Brian. That was one of your keys.
Exactly. That was number 3, one of the B's keys. Second chance points, and right there, 4 extra chances at the hoop. Andy, you've got to go up there and get the rebound. I know they got some height out there for Rocky, but they've got to go down there. You would have seen there. They go up there. There's 1 shot, second, third, fourth, and they just can't get in touch with it. Loveland's got to get there and get that ball.
Quinones was called for the foul. It's her first team foul against the Indians, and in the meantime, the Lobos missed one, and Quinones got the rebound, and now the Indians set up the offense. Trying to set up the post play that time for Kane. Just couldn't ever quite get the ball inside. Now Casey Hogue. She'll work to set it up. And I think she stepped on the sideline. Is that the call, Brian?
That's what they're going to call it. Good defense by Amy Moore. They've got some height out there, and they're going to try to push it up. Here they come, wide open underneath. And
that's Unray, and she's fouled hard. Sorry, Brian.
That's okay. Casey Hogue got in there and a good foul. Casey probably won't end up getting 5 fouls in this ball game, so it's a good foul. And to put Unray up to the free throw line right there, and just a lack of getting back on defense right there for the Indians. Got to keep her head in the ball game.
Second foul of the game on the Indians. Casey Hope does indeed pick it up. Unray at 6'1" is a force inside. She also can hit that 12-foot jumper right there. She has 4 points, and it's 8-4. The Lobos on top. 4:26 to play first period from Loveland High School. Backdoor pass for Brasilia. Nice catch and shoot, but she can't get it to go, and Unray comes away with it. And a good lead pass to Sabas. And beautiful defensive play by Quinones, knocking the ball away. It'll remain Lobo basketball, but that's good hustle getting back on the defensive end after a good outlet pass that time to Sabas from Unray.
Well, Unray doing a good job grabbing the rebound and then making it a great bounce pass between a couple defenders, and Quinones saved the day right there getting back on it.
Erica Judge is checked in for the Lobos. We got a foul call on the play here. Judge is senior at 5'6".
Kane not too happy with the call. She's going to pick up the foul.
That is her first. And they'll take it out of bounds on the baseline. That's Unray. Out top to Sabas. There's Judge. Long jumper on the far side is up and good by Britt Anderson. And that was for 3, so it's 11-4. That's Hogue with it in the corner. Gets a pick from Quinones, and she was open. Instead, they go inside to Kane. Her jumper won't go, and Deborah Schmidt can't come away with the rebound. She's checked in for the Indians. Rocky Mountain really likes to push it. Nice inside look, and the basket is good by Amy Moore.
Unray
I think Loveland wants a timeout, Brian.
Unray had the great pass right there. She's done it all in the court, Andy. Defensively, offensively, picking up the assist. Great job of passing, finding the open person down low. Great transition basketball is what's got this 13-4 lead right now for Rocky.
Well, we broadcast our games 4 times every week. You can see them, as I mentioned before, Saturdays at 9 a.m. and 7 p.m., Sunday at 10 a.m. and Monday at 5. And that, of course, is the Coaches Show, which is an hour long. You get all the insight. Followed by Brian and I with the game broadcast. However, if you happen to miss it, or, boy, you find one you just got to have forever, you can purchase a copy of this game. And we're going to tell you how. Brian, do you remember all this?
Yes, you send a check
or
money order to Comcast Cable.
And they got to make that check or money order out for $25. And you got to include it along with your name and address.
And what game you want.
Otherwise, we'll pick one. It's a good one.
You send it to 1582 West 1st Street.
Loveland, Colorado.
80537. Yeah, we work well together, don't we?
Yeah. Take a look at the field goal shooting. That's a testament to some offensive rebounding right there, Brian.
Well, they say the Lobos are shooting, 50%? Instead of saying the Indians, you should say Quinones, because she's the only one that scored so far in the ball game for the Indians.
Kim Ladd is in the ball game for the Indians, and that's her with the jump shot. Ladd's shot won't go. Quinones with the offensive board, and she gets the roll. She has 6 points. The only problem is Loveland still trails 13-6. Long lead pass ahead, and missing the wide open shot is Amy Moore, and we got a traveling call to belong to Loveland. I think she was too open.
Oh, she was wide open. Great transition. Watch the long pass. Nobody's there, and she just happened to miss that one a little too short. Indy transition basketball is winning this ball game for Rocky.
Well, they certainly have had a penchant to throw it deep, and now we got a little half-court pressure. Brasilia finds Kane. Quinones tries to go baseline, and a blocking foul is going to be called on Unray. That is her second foul, and that's good news for Loveland. Bad news for the Lobos is she's been a force inside.
Well, one game plan that Coach Coleman would probably love to do right now and change, go at Unray, draw the third personal, get her out of the game. They did get her out with the second personal, as coming in for Unray is Goodell. But you still have to go at her, pick up that third when she comes back in. She's not going to sit down the rest of this half, I'm sure.
They don't lose a whole lot bringing Goodell. She's 6 feet tall, also a senior. So they lose an inch in that transaction. Brasilia inside, off the glass and in. Nice running jump shot that time. And Loveland trims the lead to 5. It's 13-8. Now a little pressure from the Indians. That's Kelsey Glyforce, who's in the ball game. And that's Glyforce going down the lane, but doing a little Dr. J move and took a few too many steps.
Ball throw just a little bit behind her, picked it up and did a nice little hop, skip, and a jump. Good call by the official. So far, fouls even on the night. Unfortunately, for the Indians, the score's not right now.
That it isn't. Catherine Gherkin is checked in the ball game for the Indians. She wears number 12, 5'9" senior. That's Brasilia with the basketball. Threw it away and gets it back. Fortunate for them. That's Ladd with it out top, and she'll set up the offense. Quinones stops and pops for 3. Won't go. And saved inbounds, but Quinones keeps it and drives baseline, and it won't go. Now it's off one of the Indians players. I think it hit Gherkin last, and it'll belong to the Lobos.
Quinones right now, and he's forcing the ball just a little too much. He's trying to do too much out there, and she needs to find some of her other players that are open.
Nearly got a steal there as they bring it across the front court. Moore looks down low. Anderson kicks it out to Judge. Now they work to set it up. Moore near side, and the ball's taken away by Rosilia, but give some credit to Quinones that time as she put the pressure on Glyforce and forced the turnover that time.
Quinones so far in the season, 18 steals, best on the team, and one of the best in the state. She's just a great job with the hands. She's got great hands out there, and that's why she comes up with some big steals.
Kane missed the jumper, and again ahead of the field is one of the Rocky Mountain Lobos, but Glyforce can't make the shot, and it belongs to Loveland. But Loveland has got to do something about getting back on defense. You can't allow that many. Sometimes you go a whole game without seeing that many outlet passes go deep behind your defense.
We've seen a lot of them so far, and Quinones happens to be the first one back there the last few times. And Andy, she's going to wear out here eventually.
Coach Coleman is not real pleased at the moment. And driving and can't get the shot to go is Quinones, but she does draw the foul. It'll be a two-shot foul. Let's see who they flag with it.
Kaylee's done a good job of pushing.
Goodell picks up the foul. Sorry, Brian.
Okay, pushing the ball inside, picking up some fouls. She's done a good job on the evening so far with 6 points, 6 out of the 8. Loveland's going to put some more points on the board.
Well, now she has 7 out of 9 as she hits the first free throw, and she's up to 3 for 5 on the night, 60%. So she can get back near her average. She makes this one. 4 for 6, be right about 66%. Even I can figure that one out, Brian.
Yeah, you're good.
Yes, I am. Yeah, I took 2 years of calculus in college, but
It took you 2 years to get through calculus?
no, I took 2 years of calculus. And I
Good.
passed them all. My
Good.
worst grade in calculus was a B+. And that was an 8 a.m. class.
I couldn't even spell it, so that's why I didn't take it.
Full court pressure.
Ended up taking Coach
And Quinones with a steal. Ladd is open, thought about the 3, and then she traveled. And boy, she made it, but it's not going to count.
Well,
Ladd shuffled the feet just a little bit.
Andy, so it's really tempting from that point. You get the ball, you're wide open. You want to shoot it, but then you think, oh, no, I can get closer. And that's where you pick up the traveling.
Judge ahead to Moore, and a nice dish and a bucket for Amy Moore, her second basket of the ball game. Under 30 seconds, or just over 30 seconds to play in the first quarter, excuse me. It's 15-10. Tessa Kane, I think she had that partially blocked. Gherkin's follow won't go, and coming away with the rebound is Sabas. She'll bring it up. They may work for one here as the clock now shows 17 seconds in the first quarter. Sabas looking for help. Gets it from Goodell. Now to Glyforce. Judge drives, and oh boy, a foul called with 1.6 seconds left. And it's Kim Ladd. I thought it was going to be the second foul on Quinones, but it's called on Ladd, the fourth foul against the Indians. The good news is she wasn't shooting the basketball. She should have tossed that one up towards the rim, and she might have got some free throws.
Time for one last shot.
If they do it quickly, and they do. Shot is up and no good. Moore was open again. She's missed some wide open shots in the first quarter, or this could be a lot worse. The end of one period of play from Loveland High School. You see the score, 15-10. The Rocky Mountain Lobos on top of the Loveland Indians in a game that matches up a couple of pretty good teams, Brian. In the first quarter, I think the key was that Rocky Mountain was really pushing the basketball. They had, I can think of at least 3 or 4 occasions where they threw an outlet pass to a player who was ahead of the pack, and Loveland's got to get back defensively.
Well, Coach Coleman right now is telling the team that's what you have to do. Get back there. Defense has been our weak point in that quarter. And Andy, they've had a tough time getting back. Even when they have inbounds plays, the ball is stopped. They're still doing good transition. Rocky is, and having players wide open underneath. I don't know if Loveland's just a step slow tonight or what.
Well, they could be, but nobody will be a step slow next week, Brian. We'll be right back here at Loveland High School, the Comcast Game of the Week, the one everyone's been waiting for. Little Jimi Hendrix music, please. The Crosstown Game. We're going to have some cross-town traffic out here on the floor, that's for sure. Join us next week, folk. It should be, I bet the gym's jam-packed. It's always a good game. Throw out the records. Doesn't matter what AM are. Thompson Valley and Loveland High School, the boys basketball game right here on Comcast next week. As usual, our 4 replay times and coaches show preceding it. So one to salivate over, so to speak. Nice defensive play that time by Unray as she just stepped in and got in the passing lane. Anderson for 3. Ball's tipped and comes out to Nicole Baum, and she drains it and stretches the lead to 17-10. Here's a look at the numbers from the first quarter. You can see why it was 15-10.
Only 23% by the Indians. Knock a few more shots down, and they're in the lead of this ball game. Still only down by 7.
Kim Ladd, now Quinones. Rocky Mountain has switched up the defenses somewhat over the course of the game. They've been in zone and player to player. Now the ball knocked away, and Unray, the 6'1 player, comes away with it, and she's going to take it all the way. Layup won't go, however. Now Loveland's got a chance to run.
3 on 2.
Quinones. Oh, a little too high for Tessa Kane. Kane's 5'9", and she needed to be about 7'1 to catch that one.
Even though you have a 3 on 2, Andy, you want to get that ball down low. You've got to take your time, ball control, make sure it's there, and make sure your outlet player you want to throw it to. And she just overthrew her player. Quinones may have waited a little too long also.
Bounce pass might be a good one in that spot. I thought she walked there. Anderson stops and pops, and she gets a jumper. And just like that, the lead is 19-10. Now zone defense again for the Lobos.
They're doing a good job of mixing it up and kind of throwing the Indians off balance.
Quinones recognizing the defense and setting something up. Get
Down.
it down low to Gherkin, and it's out of bounds off her leg, and it'll belong to the Lobos. And Coach Coleman over here for the Indians is a little concerned right now, I believe.
Well, you have to be, especially when you're not getting the ball in the basket, down by 9, and your defense really played a little lackluster tonight.
Emily Tipton, another senior, checks in for the Lobos. She wore number 34. That's her with the basketball a moment ago. Now Sabas. She stops. Jump shot won't go, but Unray again with a rebound. Kim Ladd, and she's going to be called for traveling. Boy, you know, Brian, I hate that. Not only do you get floor burn on your knees, but you get called for traveling.
That's a tough
Well, you
call.
can hear that squeak up here.
Well, you know,
I hate that
there's
sound.
nothing you can do. You just had to hold on to the ball and call a timeout or get it to an open person because you just start flying around.
Oh, a near steal that time by Casey Hogue. Now Anderson stops. Three-pointer is up and good. Britt Anderson drains her second tray of the ball game, and it's 22-10. Coach Coleman looking for somebody on the bench that can help out.
And now Rocky drops down to a 1-3-1 defense now, or kind of packing it in.
Could almost be a 3-2 out top.
They're throwing some good changes down there on defense.
Baum with the steal, finds Unray. Unray stops, nearly stolen. Back to Unray. And the backdoor cut by Tipton is no good. And will come the other way. Ladd slows it up as Tipton was applying the pressure. And we got another outlet pass. This is a 4-on-1, if it can be won. And Kim Ladd with an outstanding defensive play, tipping that one away. She was the one in a 4-on-1, and she was trailing the play. But how does Loveland get in that situation? They had Candace Arthur wearing number 32 into the ball game, and her pass was tipped away, but it was all the way down by the baseline, Brian. And Rocky Mountain, when they get that basketball, they just look to throw it deep. Unray's shot won't go, and Casey Hogue comes up with the rebound.
Dropping down to a 2-3 zone, kind of a matchup.
Brasilia in trouble.
For that defense,
And
Andy.
Tipton with the near steal. Which way do we go? It's going to belong to Loveland as it's the last touch by Tipton, and a break for the Indians right there, I think.
Well, the big reason that they're able to get that transition going after the shot is Unray. She goes up there. She's so tall, and he goes up for that rebound, and and she can throw it out there. And her players are saying, okay, as soon as the shot's up, we know Andre is going to get the ball, and she throws it down there, and somebody's wide open, and that's how they got the 4-on-1.
Another player who's up from the JV squad is in the ball game. That's Amber Colton. She's wearing number 30. So Coach Coleman looking for a spark here from anywhere. Lads in trouble. Pass is tipped away. And finally coming up with it is the Lobos, and they have two players deep. And the layup is up and no good. If Rocky Mountain can convert any of these layups, they could really be running away with this game. As Kiana Sabas was wide open. If she'd have been really unselfish, she could have passed.
You know, you used to call it cherry picking in high school. You're out there on the playground, and you're playing a bunch of guys out on the court, and as soon as the shot's up, gone, you have one or two players drop back and try to get open down court for the easy play, and that's right now is what Rocky's doing.
Oh, beautiful give and go there as Unray gets the bucket. She now has 6 points. But that's a textbook give and go right there.
Pure Stockton Malone give, right?
Work it with the post player. Yeah, they did it best, don't they? Still do, I guess. Although they're getting up there in years now. I shouldn't say that. That's about as old as they are.
Here we go again.
Here we go. Sabas once again. Down low to Britt Anderson, but it's tipped away. It'll still be Rocky Mountain ball. But you said it, Brian. Here we go again.
Well, you know, Andy, that's what they're doing. They're cherry picking every time down court. Somebody on their team gets the ball, two people, they cut to the other basket, and that's why they're doing it so well.
Andre with the jump shot, it won't go. But the follow by Moore is up and a foul called. Brian, do you realize there's 3:30 left in the second quarter, and Loveland hasn't scored a point?
You know, big thing right there. Turnovers, 10-6. Earlier it was just 6-4. And first time that Rocky has stepped up to the charity stripe tonight, and they've already got 24 points. So that means they're doing it all from the floor and doing a lot of transition. That's where they're getting their points, even though they're missing some of those baskets.
Yeah, if they could have made some of those, they could really be running away with this. It's 24-10 with 3:30 to play. Give you an idea, folks, it was 15-10 at the end of one period of play, so Loveland in at least a 4.5-minute scoring drought at the moment.
Candace Arthur going back to the bench, and Tessa Kane coming back in. And you know, Candace, just a sophomore, having a big assignment, trying to guard Unray, and Unray really walked all over her up there, more experienced, taller, and having a great ball game.
Unray is really doing it down low right now, and she can pass the ball and dribble it as well. We saw her bring the ball up and go end-to-end one time. There's that matchup zone again that Brian's been talking about. Hogue down low to Amber Colton. Her shot won't go, blocked, and Tipton brings it up as the Lobos run yet again. That pass too tall for Moore.
But I like the way that they're doing it, and even though the pass was high, they're still trying to push the ball up there and keep this game going on transition for them. And so far, it's been successful.
Quick reminder, folks, we do broadcast 4 times every week our Game of the Week here on Comcast, which is sponsored by Subsystem Sandwiches. 9 a.m. Saturdays, 7 p.m. Saturdays. Sunday it's 10 a.m. and Monday it's at 5 in the evening. There's a foul called here. But that, of course, the coaches show, which is an hour long. You don't want to miss that. You get all the insight. Then Brian and I follow with the game.
Kiana Sabas picking up the foul. And you know, Quinones comes back into the ball game and quickly goes to the free throw line.
She has 8 of the Loveland 10 points. Now she has 9 of 11. And that is the first point of the second quarter for the Indians.
What they're doing, Andy, is
5 minutes and 11 seconds in.
They're spreading out as soon as Quinones gets the ball up on top and just kind of trying to part the waters for her to go in there and try to score. And it's successful in picking up fouls, but really not that successful in putting points on the board. Someone else has got to score.
There's the steal by Hogue. Tried to get it to Quinones, but she couldn't cut down the lane. Kane was wide open, but Tipton coming back on the defense. I think she was reading that passing lane, just waiting for Quinones to throw that one. And Quinones goes down hard, but a clean block, they say, and it's going to be Loveland ball.
First down and goal to go. You know, something like that happens. 2 players fall to the floor, and they just call a clean block. Good hard basketball. You know, one thing you talked about, Quinones kind of telegraphing her passes, what she's doing out there. A couple intercepted. That one almost intercepted, tipped away. They've got to make some crisp passes and try to get it down low.
Canay's shot under pressure won't go, and Unray with a lead pass to Tipton. There's somebody out ahead again. Tipton did a nice job to keep the foot down and not travel. She gets her first bucket of the night, Emily Tipton, the senior, and it is 26-12. Quinones kicks it out to Resilia. Three-pointer won't go, and Unray comes down with the rebound. Tipped ahead by Anderson to Tipton, who's wide open, and she makes the bucket.
Just like
and
that.
Timeout Loveland, and they need one. It's 28-12 with the 2-minute warning, so to speak. 2 minutes to play in the second quarter, and Brian Loveland has got to find a way to get back on defense.
And, the best way to get back on defense is to convert on offense. Put the ball in the bucket, make them take it out of bounds, and then they can't sit there and push it up. But Andre down low for Rocky has done a great job offensively and defensively. She's done it all. She's had about 3 block shots so far in the game, numerous rebounds, numerous tips, and she's just done a good job, Andy, of going through there and knocking down the points. And the only person really to keep this game somewhat close is Kelly Quinones for Loveland. And she's got 10 points of the 12, but they've got to find someone else who can score for Loveland.
No field goals in the second quarter so far by the Loveland Indians. Brian, we need to talk about subsystem sandwiches. Let's give you their phone number, folks. 669-7868. Write it down. Memorize it. Put it in your day timer.
Was it 669?
7868.
7868.
They offer free delivery throughout most of Loveland. Pretty much all of them. They slice their own meats, their own cheeses. Great sandwiches. We have them before the game, and you can tell Brian and I are happy. And Brian and I are only happy when we have food. Canay's shot won't go. Still no field goals. And you notice Brasilia back on defense.
You've got to do what it takes, and that's what they're doing right now.
Moore can't hold on to the basketball, and it's picked up by the Indians. Quinones pushing it for the Indians. She comes into the lane. She traveled but got away with it. Can't get the layup to go. Now we got a foul called, and I think that's going to be on Casey Hogue. If it is, it's her third.
Quinones is trying to push the ball up a little too much right now, Andy. She's got to find somebody else on her team who can shoot the ball. They go into the 1-1 penalty now. Rocky will shoot some free throws.
Time to go to the free throw line. They've only been there once, and they didn't make any. Quinones going down the lane. She's having a tough night somewhat so far. She does have 10 points.
I don't know if she's feeling that she needs to take this game into her own hands and try to put some points up there or what, but she's having a tough time. Andre having a great game for Rocky has really, really done a good job on both sides of the ball.
Goodell at the free throw line for 1-1. She has not scored in the ball game. She has now. And substitution coming in. Tipton leaves and Lyforce returns. Goodell makes it 29-12 with 1:29 to play first half, second quarter. Good follow through on that shot, but it won't go. But she gets her own rebound. Can't allow that.
Second chance points. There they are. Oh.
I thought they were there, and now we got a foul called. Moore's a little angry with herself for not making the layup.
Not only second chance points, we're going on third chance points. Second time, Andy, if the ball goes up, you got to get that rebound. And right now, Loveland's just being outmanned. You can't teach height, and that's what Rocky's got right now.
Canay picks up the foul. That's her second. 1:21 to play. Moore gets one to roll around and go in. That's her first free throw of the night. She was 0 for 2 before that one. Folks, from the basketball court to the debate podium or the concert halls, thousands of young men and women participate in high school activities. Why? Because they're fun. As parents, you should help them to develop physically and emotionally by supporting their activities whenever we can. A message from Comcast Communications and the Colorado High School Activities Association. Ladd doing the ball handling now. That's Brasilia. She stops for 3. Won't go, but Canay gets the offensive rebound and gets a bucket. Her first basket of the ball game, and Loveland gets its first field goal with 1:01 to play in the second quarter. First field goal of the second quarter. Britt Anderson drains a three. I believe they're going to give her three on that one. They do indeed. That's her third three-pointer of the basketball game. We are under a minute now.
Sorry about that. Insult to injury. They start hitting the downtown shots. It's going to be a long night if they continue to do that.
Kanae's got a hot hand. She gets her second bucket in just a few seconds. But it is 34-16, and now we got a jump ball as Quinones ties up Glyforce, excuse me.
Once again, another steal for Quinones. Quick hands, quick feet, getting there, and great anticipation.
Britt Anderson, Quinones on her. Judge, now Britt Anderson for three yet again. Nothing but net. She is on fire. We are now to 10 seconds to play in the first half. Ladd goes inside to Kanae. Quinones fakes the three, now goes baseline. And no shot, no foul. The end of the first half. The score after 2 quarters of basketball from Loveland High School, the Rocky Mountain Lobos in firm control right now on top of the Indians by a score of 37-16. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back with our halftime stats. And, of course, we've got 2 more quarters of basketball from right here at Loveland High School on the Comcast. Game of the week. Stay with us. Welcome back to Loveland High School. Just underway, a few seconds into the third quarter. The Lobos in command, leading by 21, 37-16 at the half. And the initial shot of the second half by the Indians goes awry, and coming away with it are the Lobos. Well, there's a three-pointer by somebody other than Britt Anderson. As Nicole Baum knocks it down, she had 6 points in the first half. That gives her 9. As Quinones brings it up, Quinones with the majority of the points for the Indians, she had 10. Nice backdoor pass to Rosilia from Quinones, and the bucket is up and good. That's her second bucket of the ball game, her 4th point. And it is 40-18. Anderson, who had 4 threes, goes back door, but can't quite hang on to the backdoor pass, and the ball hits the end line, goes out of bounds. It'll belong to Loveland.
Loveland comes back on their first possession, Andy. The back door kind of surprised them from the get-go. Good job and a good pass and a nice way to convert.
Reminder, if you're just joining us, this is the second half. You still have a chance to watch the first half unless it's Monday. 4 times we broadcast our games. Saturdays twice, 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. Sunday at 10 a.m. and Monday at 5. That's the coach's show. And Brian and I follow with the basketball game as Quinones gets the steal and lays it up and in as she picked up a loose ball in the lane. She now has a dozen, and the Lobos have doubled up the Indians to this point. It's 40-20. Nearly thrown away, but saved into Moore. Down low to Unre. Her turnaround won't go. Good defense that time by Amanda Ewell, who started the ball game but was not in there a whole lot in the first half. Quinones. And an offensive foul called on Quinones. Good defense that time. Cutting off the baseline, Sabas. And Quinones picks up her second foul.
Quinones trying to force the ball a little bit down low. Unfortunately, she couldn't find it. And when they do that, Andy, and Quinones is going in there, they've got Unre, along with a couple other players, boxing her in, just collapsing in on her and making it a very tough time to shoot or pass or anything. And she's really getting trapped down below the basket.
Down low to Unre. Ewell with a nice job defensively, and she comes away with a rebound. Good defense that time on the post as Loveland almost throws it away, and Kim Ladd comes up with it. Now Loveland looking to push it. Kanae has it stolen. Amy Moore wide open. Here's another break. Sabas makes the layup.
Rocky's doing a good job coming out here and playing great transition basketball.
That's Sabas' first basket of the ball game.
Now they're kind of matching up in a 1-3 or
2-3 zone. It looks
kind of
like
mixing up
Kane, it's a long jumper from the corner. And after a slow start, she now has 6. I'll give you the rundown of the scoring if we get a break here. Clock's continuing to run, 5:11 to play in the third quarter. Haven't had many whistles. Unray, good backdoor pass to Britt Anderson. Those two work so well together. Anderson leads all scorers now. She has 16 in the ball game. 44-22, it's doubled up again. Loveland can't afford that. They can't trade 2 baskets for one the wrong way. Quinones drives and gets the layup. A little Olay defense there.
Such a great move for Quinones. She's done that a few times. Now we saw her do it a couple times last week. She's got that high dribble, gets it around the defender. Great move, great body control to get around there and put the basket in.
Unray tries one from long range. Boy, Ewell was ahead of the pack, but nobody saw her down court. Look at a number on the three-pointers from the first half only here. You can see 4 three-pointers, and Britt Henderson had all of them. And, of course, right out to start the third quarter, Nicole Baum added one more. Kane, jumper won't go. Ewell had a shot at the rebound, but Unray comes away with it and has it ahead for Baum. Tipped out of bounds by Kane, hustling back defensively, and it'll belong to the Indians, or excuse me, to the Lobos.
Right there.
More first half number, 48%. That's incredible shooting. And
Even
it should have
more,
been higher had they not missed quite a few layups.
even more incredible, Andy. It's 22%. I think it's just the fact of the good defense.
Free throw shooting. The Lobos didn't go there very often. Well, neither did the Indians, for that matter. Shot is up and no good, but Anderson comes away with it. Good look to Unray, who uses the left hand to lay it up and in. Her first bucket of the second half, she has 8.
She's really impressed me so far, Andy. A great all-around athlete and player around the court, doing it from both sides of the ball.
Not only that, she used the left hand that time to go up and in. Quite a basketball player. Quinones looking for help. Brasilia.
A matchup zone right now.
She goes for 3, and the first three-pointer of the ball game is up and in for the Indians. Brasilia has 5 in the quarter, and it's 45-27.
That's one way to open up the middles, to take it from the outside and make that long shot.
Unray down low to Baum. First shot won't go, and Quinones wants to run. It's 1-on-2, though. Let's see if she takes it to the hoop. She goes in and hit Kim Ladd in the face pretty much with the pass. Anderson with a steal. Comes to Moore. Anderson wanted that 3, but instead finds Moore cutting down the lane. That was a give and go from half court. Amy Moore now has 7 points on the evening, as 5 different players have scored for the Lobos here in the third quarter with 2:29 to play.
This team is great passing the ball. They've done a good job, and, every time they do that, they have it wide open.
We got a foul called here, and that gives us a chance to talk about Subsystem Sandwiches, our sponsor here in the Comcast Game of the Week. Brian, what's their phone number?
Well, their phone number is 669-7868. 7868. Let me get that out correctly.
68?
But, every game before this season, we're going to have Subsystem Sandwiches, and, it's a great way to start the game off. And a good old time. We sit around, talk to the crew, and have some great eats. Subsystem Sandwiches, North Loveland. They have free delivery. Slice their own meats and cheeses. Food and delicious. So if you want to give them a call, which I, strongly urge you to do, 669-7868.
That's what we want to do. Yeah, tell them you saw the game here on Comcast.
Yeah.
They fed the crew, and they want to try some of that good grub.
It made us sound a lot happier on the broadcast. Otherwise, it...
Brian gets crabby.
Oh, you know that.
I get crabby, too. Back live, Loveland. Ewell picks it up underneath and finally drops it in. And there's Loveland getting a few second-chance buckets. And I thought they were going to run again. Ewell's first points of the ball game. We're so busy talking about Subsystem Sandwiches, I was getting excited there.
Second chance points. This is the third chance they have right now, Andy.
Anderson drops it off for Unray. Quinones comes across. She's going to be called for the foul, and that's her third. Quinones, who has 14, picks up her third foul right here with 1:48 to play in the third quarter. A reminder, next week here on the Comcast Game of the Week, right back here at Loveland High School for the crosstown matchup. Thompson Valley comes, just 3-4 miles.
That's right. They
Crosstown to play their arch rival, the Loveland Indians. We've got the game for you here on Comcast.
And it should be a good ball game and a fun one.
Unray makes the first free throw. And she makes the second. She's now in double figures with 10, and it is 50-29. Reminder, our replay time's the same for that game as they are for this one. Saturdays at 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. Sunday mornings, 10 o'clock, and Monday in the evening at 5. Make it a point to leave work early and get home so you can watch the game. Kene for three. Well, that's, of course, if you haven't seen it over the weekend or you just want to watch it again. As Tipton comes away with it. Unray fouled. Let's see if they're going to call that a shooting foul. Nope, they're going to say she was passing the ball.
And that's a good call because Unray made the move. And very unselfish player, Unray, so far. You know, what I've seen, I've liked every aspect of this ball game that she has played because she goes through, fakes it off, and she does a good pass. And, you know, after today's game, you can watch the coach's show. Corey Lopez will talk about the great play of Miss Unray.
Well, it's before the game, Brian, so they have to tune into the next broadcast.
Well, that's what I meant.
Fine. Corey Lopez gets all the insight on the coach's show. All four coaches in the Loveland area, 2 from Thompson Valley, 2 from Loveland, and then Brian and I get to have the fun. We get to do the basketball game.
You know,
hey, you can't beat this. We get to watch basketball every week. We get to talk about it. I mean, a lot of guys sit home and talk to the TV set.
That's right. We can eat
so they're talking to us.
Subsystem sandwiches while we do it.
Yes, we can. And those folks at home who don't have to talk the whole game can really enjoy those subsystem sandwiches. It's 50-29. Under a minute now in the third quarter. Quinones' shot won't go, and here we go again. Tipton. And we got a foul or a travel. We got a foul call. I think it's going to be Kim Ladd. See who they get, though.
Ladd trying to get back on defense. Picked it up.
Ran into Tipton. There's the promo for next week's game, Brian.
That's right. We talked about it a couple minutes earlier, and hey, and there it is. Thompson Valley Eagles and the Loveland Indians. Should be a great ball game, and 2 fast-paced teams going at it just like we have here tonight.
Steal by Resilia. Tipton's pass was a little bit telegraphed that time. Quinones for 3. Won't go. And let's see who comes up with it. Oh, Unray with a beautiful steal in the feed to Tipton. She's ahead of the pack. Stops, lets one player go by, and up she goes. Emily Tipton now has 6, and she is the 6th player to score for the Lobos in the third quarter.
You know, unofficially, I'm sure Unray's got a triple-double here tonight. You know, she's got double figures in scoring. And see the great pass there to finish off the bucket. Her assists have got to be right around 10. And rebounds, Andy. She's played a great game.
Tipton with 3 seconds left. I don't know if she's going to get a shot off. Judge, shot will not count. No shot. The end of the third quarter comes, and it's 52-29. The Indians are trailing by 23 points in their own gym.
And you know, Andy,
you know what this means? It's time for us. If you're not here in the gym, you're missing out because we've got Frisbees to give away. Brian, go ahead and wing out that first one.
They're going to announce it now. Give people time to turn around.
Okay, we're going to have time to get our stats. You know, Jeff Coleman doesn't really care if we're throwing Frisbees out here. We're going to see if anybody wants a Frisbee. Who wants a Frisbee? There's a Frisbee. Whoops, that one went a little too far. We'll try one more. Oops, that one got in the... Brian, here we have one more. I'm not having much luck over here. Throw it that way. Throw it that way. Oh, well. We only had a few. Not everybody could get one.
We'll do it again next week, and, you know, just keep it tuned here, and you never know what can happen.
Yep. Comcast,
come on after the game.
The whole crew here at Comcast having a wonderful time. You know, discipline, loyalty, and perseverance are just as important as passing, setting picks, and making baskets in basketball. Our high school youths are learning the positive competitive principles of life on and off the basketball court. These are the same principles stressed by the Colorado High School Activities Association. You score points in all phases of life. Message from Comcast and the Colorado High School Activities Association, otherwise known as CHASA.
Right now, the Indians have to come out, Andy, and work on their offense. They're not playing for this game now. They've got to work on the offense and defense to play for games coming on in the season. They still have a good record, and they will be a team to battle with later on in the season. They just couldn't get it done so far tonight.
Now Gherkin now has the tough job of guarding Unray, and she did a nice job on that sequence. The last foul, by the way, was called on Kim Ladd. That was her third. 3 Indians now with 3 fouls. Casey Hogue, Kim Ladd, and Callie Quinones with 3 fouls apiece as we are underway in the fourth quarter. Ladd, that was for 3, but it won't go, and it's out of bounds off of Erica Judge, and it'll remain Loveland basketball. Checking in for the Indians, September Halderman wearing number 20, the freshman at 5'7". Getting a little playing time here. Working to Halderman, Rasilia for 3, no. The follow was up and no good. That's Amber Colton. And she's going to earn a trip to the free throw line.
Amber doing a good job going up for the rebound and going up for the basket strong and drawing the foul.
Kristen Goodell picks up the foul. She's only the second player for Rocky Mountain with 2 fouls. Remember when Unray picked up her second foul early in the first half?
It was very early.
Well, she still has 2 fouls.
And, she's played a great ball game. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Every aspect of the ball game, she has done fabulous tonight.
She certainly has. As Colton gets on the board, she has 1 point. We come back the other way. Indian player goes down, and unfortunately it was the player guarding Unray. Gherkin fell down, and unfortunately that leads to 2 points in a hurry.
That's just the breaks right there. Unray walking down court and kind of knocked into Gherkin. Gherkin fell right to the ground, and Unray wide open.
Oh, wow. Unray just steps right in front of Amber Colton to steal that one, and now she gets the ball ahead to Judge. Erica Judge up and good. That's the first bucket of the ball game for Judge.
How many times do you see a high school player get the assist from half court, Andy? Right there, Unray has done that.
Well, Loveland shot the ball a little better in the third quarter, but unfortunately they only matched buckets. And when they were trailing by as much as they were at halftime, they need a little better than that as they take a timeout. Want to remind you folks, if you want to own a copy of broadcast, you can do that as well. And here's how you do it. You get yourself a check or money order payable to Comcast for $25. You send that along with your name and address, which game you want. Make sure you let us know. We might send you last week's Loveland game or next week's crosstown game or one of the ones later in the season. Include that with your check or money order. Make sure you include your name and address. Mail it to High School Sports, Comcast Communications, 1582 West 1st Street, Loveland, Colorado, 80537. It was up there briefly. I'll give it to you again. 1582 West 1st Street, Loveland, Colorado, 80537. Halderman's shot won't go, and we got a
stepped on the end line.
Stepped on the end line, so Loveland catches a break there.
Moore stepped out, got the ball, tried to throw it up court, and using that foot to push off, just nicked the end line. Good call by the official down low.
Trouble getting it in bounds, and it's tipped out of bounds. I think this will belong to Rocky Mountain. Good call there as it went off Gherkin's hands. I believe it was Gherkin. Yes, indeed.
You're going to see some different players in there as Unray comes out for Rocky.
She's had a good game. She may be done for the night. Good effort this evening. Britta Anderson. On the corner, that was for 3, but no good. And Loveland comes back. That was Sabas with the 3-point try. Gherkin with the follow on Quinones is missed, and she's on the board. Her first points of the ball game. That's Moore. Judge is going to try for another one. She pays the price going down the lane, but gets the bucket. She now has 4.
Judge right there ruled the inside, doing a good job at just driving to the hoop and putting it up.
2-3 zone again for Rocky. They've employed that quite a bit tonight, Brian.
And they keep dropping around, making a 2-3, 2-1-2 matchup zone. And, I think it's really throwing a big curveball for the Indians.
Traveling call there as Gherkin made her move on the baseline. Give you our replay times once again, folks. 4 times every week, 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. on Saturdays, Sunday at 10 a.m. and Monday at 5. And, of course, the coaches show, 1 hour later, Brian and I with the basketball game. Well, of course, the rest of the Comcast group. Britt Anderson's turnaround is up and in. She has 18 points tonight, folks.
The passing of this Rocky Mountain team is just amazing. Inside, outside passing, doing the job tonight.
Hogue, back out to Amber Colton. Hogue thought about the three, but Britt Anderson was in her face. Kane throws it away, right to Sabas. She takes it coast to coast, won't go. Quinones in a crowd comes away with the rebound, and she throws one long. Colton can't get it to go. Good hustle back by Amy Moore. And Baum had it roll off her foot, so she slows it up. Now she thought about the three. Try to go back door, but this time it's cut off nicely. But stolen away by Amy Moore and a foul called. Let's see who they're going to get.
They're going to call that Kane, it looks like.
They do indeed.
You know, she's played a good game.
Third.
Very silently. She's been there defensively, offensively. She's been a little frustrated all game, but she has played a decent game for this Indian team. And, you know, unfortunately, she just isn't able to compete with the height that this Rocky team has.
Reminder, folks, we have a new sponsor for basketball season this year. It's Subsystem Sandwiches. You can give them a call at 669-7868. They feed the crew here at Comcast. You can tell by how happy we are how good the food is. Brian and I are always very happy when we have good food. They're in North Loveland. They have free delivery, 669-7868. Give them a call. They slice their own meats, slice their own cheeses, great sandwiches, and just a wonderful, wonderful sponsor. We're happy to have them on board this year. Some wholesale substitutions for Loveland.
Good defense by Kane. She comes up with the steal. And interesting, Andy, is they're going to call a foul down low. Rocky brings back Unray. In fact, she comes back and she picks up her third foul. First foul she's picked up since early in the first quarter.
Get it into Rosilia. But good defense by Rocky. They have just been all over the Indians tonight. Kane under pressure.
That's a tough shot from three going backwards.
Oh, nice move on the baseline by Ann Depperschmidt. She gets her first basket. Oh, and I think that's a few too many steps. What do you say, Brian?
That's exactly what the official said as Angela Rosilia comes down there and cuts off the passing lane. And as soon as she did that, Carter couldn't find anyone to pass it to. Ends up walking halfway from here to the coast.
Shannon Carter just came into the ballgame. Her first appearance, 5'5" junior. Rosilia for three. Won't go. We got a foul called on the rebound, and I'm pretty sure I know who that one's going to be on. I think it's going to be on Chris to judge.
You shouldn't judge her
too
early.
We won't judge her by that foul,
I think
whether or not she can play. Krista, just a sophomore, 5'6". We've talked about Erica Judge earlier. Now Krista in the ballgame. Loveland trying to get it in, having a little trouble. Finally into Ladd. Rosilia for three. It won't go. Tries to follow her own shot, and we got a jump ball called. I thought they were going to get Rosilia for the foul, but it's a jump ball.
It's one thing I've noticed this year, Andy, is that they call jump balls very quickly this season, a lot quicker than they did last year. As you look, the three-point shot, NBA three shot, no good. And right there, early jump
hands
ball.
On the ball. My apologies to the officials. Good call. Unray with the steal. She is looking to throw it deep. 60-34, Rocky Mountain on top is a turnover here, and the Indians will bring it back with 3:11 to play in the fourth quarter.
Are you saying it was a jump ball there, Andy?
I think it was.
That's an awfully close. I still think it's been called very quickly this season.
I think they're doing that on purpose, though. Foul's going to be called on Shannon Carter, and let's see if they give free throws to Kane.
Still surprised that Unray is still in the ball game with only 2:56 left to go, and this one well in hand for Rocky.
No shooting foul here. It's a 16 foul, so we're going to shoot free throws the rest of the way to both sides, and now a turnover, and the ball belongs to the Lobos.
Ball just thrown over the head of Amanda Ewell. She jumped up when the ball was coming up. By the time the ball got there, though, it was she was going down. Ball was going over her head.
Another whistle. Foul called here.
Getting a little sloppy out there. Rosilia's going to pick up the foul.
That is her second of the ball game.
Just as we say it, Unray's coming out of the ball game and gets a nice hand and a little high five
Well
to the coach.
deserved. Well deserved there. Shannon Carter with a chance to get in the scorebook. She hasn't scored yet today. She hasn't played until this fourth quarter. Misses the front end of the one-on-one. And ahead of the pack is Rosilia as they take a page out of Rocky Mountain's book. And Loveland takes a page out of Rocky Mountain's book by missing the layup as well. We've got a foul called on the rebound. We'll go down the other end and we'll shoot some free throws.
Kinnae just trying to go after it, a little anxious, and climbed over the top. Used the offensive player as a ladder.
Kinnae picks up her fourth foul.
She watched the great outlet pass. There goes Rosilia. Missed the shot, and there goes Kinnae towards the end. You see her jumping out, and she'll have a seat. Solid ball game for Kinnae.
Goodell to the free throw line. She's 2 for 2. Well, I have her 2 for 2. Paul has her 1 for 2.
Let's go with Paul this time.
Let's go with Paul.
Next time I'll go with you. Now she's 2 for 3. No comment.
No comment from Peanut Gallery.
The stat man's got a lot of comments, though.
And she gets that one to roll in as well.
Now's the time for these young players on both teams to work on their offense and also show the coaches what they can do.
62-34, the game well in hand for the Lobos. Rosilia follows her own shot, but can't get the rebound to go either. Rebound, I'm thinking hockey here. The follow. Glide force with it. Throws it right to Rosilia. We'll come back the other way. And tied up. Jump ball called as Krista Judge came back and got the held ball. And September Halderman checks back in, and Kim Ladd will sit down. Folks, we do want to remind you that this broadcast is the sole property of Comcast Communications. Any retransmission or rebroadcast of this program in part or whole without authorized written consent from Comcast Communications is expressly forbidden. Well, a few misses at this end, and we'll come the other way. Amber Colton, I think they're going to call a foul. Be a 1-on-1 situation. Not a two-shot foul here.
Brenda Sheridan going to pick up the foul. Her first is coming into the ball game. And you know, Andy, right now, both teams kind of playing a little sporadically and erratically just because these players aren't used to being on the floor together as well as just being on the floor. A lot of players you'll see in a couple years out there right now.
Ewell gets the offensive board after the miss.
Three-point shot, good by Rosilia. She's kind of taking it over right now, Andy, as Rocky comes down there. The traveling call against Carter. And Rosilia for Loveland's kind of putting it up and taking the shots right now and trying to get things done.
She's in double figures. She joins Quinones in that category. She has 10 points. Now she finds Halderman. They go down low. And the shot is up and no good by Candace Arthur. And another jump ball call. Held ball situation. They don't actually jump it anymore.
Not in the old days. They used to jump it every single time.
I think it's because, in the pro game they couldn't do it because the referees were too short. Followed by Depperschmidt. Count the bucket and the foul. As Ann Depperschmidt gets her second bucket. Take a look at the turnovers tonight. It's been somewhat of a sloppy game on both sides.
That's very high. 46 turnovers, Andy. That's you said it. Sloppy game right there, and that tells it right there.
Glyforce picks up her first foul. And the free throw is no good by Depperschmidt. So she remains with 4 points at 62-39 as we have triple ones on the scoreboard. 1:11 to play. Clock is running. Foul called. It's going to be on Rosilia. Her third. And it'll send Krista Judge to the free throw line. She has not scored in the ballgame, so her chance to get in the scorebook tonight. And looking at the scoreboard, Brian, it's still going to be 1-1. 19 foul against the Indians.
62-39, and, what can you say? This Rocky Mountain team is going to be a force to be reckoned with later on this season.
They certainly looked good tonight as Krista Judge gets in the scorebook. First point of the ball game for her. Casey Hope checks in, and Rosillo will have a seat. She's had a pretty good second half, 8 points following the break. She has the 3 fouls, and she'll sit down. Judge can't get the second one, but it's saved by the Lobos, and they control. Back out top for Shannon Carter. Judge. And three-pointer is up and good by Kelsey Glyforce, her first points of the night. And it is 66-39. Hope for Colton. Inside, Candace Arthur can't get it to go, and we come the other way. Rocky Mountain still running. I think that's the only way they know how to play. Layup won't go by Kristen Goodell. And we are under 30 seconds down near approaching now 20 seconds to play in the ball game. Colton with the jump shot. Can't get it quite far enough. And we'll come the other way again. Layup won't go. Goodell's follow won't go. And it won't. Now, I thought Goodell was going to get that one to go, but it won't quite. And as the buzzer sounds, that is the end of the basketball game. Rocky Mountain runs away with it. The final score, 66-39. They beat the Loveland Indians in Loveland. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're going to take a short break, but we'll be right back with our final statistics and our players of the game, as well as a look at next week's crosstown matchup right here on Comcast. Stay with us.